So, today I'm going to talk about a massive problem within the world of comic books. It seems that a large amount of fans of Marvel and DC have no respect for the source material. And I've always believed this because this has been highlighted in many examples over the years. And just a couple of days ago on Twitter, I found a tweet that proved exactly what I'm saying, and it showed you the worst part about it. If we go over here to Twitter, we see this guy posting up the biblically accurate Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, he's posting a clip from the Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers TV show. And it is pretty good, if not for a few inaccuracies like Nick Fury. But the episode with the Guardians of the Galaxy was amazing, and they mightn't have gotten everything perfect, but it was probably the best depiction of the Guardians on screen. And for evidence of what I'm talking about, all you need to do is scroll down and listen to the reactions. One of the top comments says that, so the MCU gave Star-Lord an actual personality and didn't go with generic stoic team leader. I genuinely feel sorry for you. And I'm in agreement. I do feel sorry for you. You're giving so much credit to the MCU and James Gunn for giving Star-Lord a personality. As I said in previous videos, when I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, I absolutely loved it. Thought it was extremely original and funny, when in reality it was none of that. It wasn't original because it was ripped from Farscape, Firefly and the original comics. And it being funny and people having a personality doesn't exist. It's just a cringe Marvel humor that, as we can see now, has died out because it wasn't funny to begin with. You tolerated something that was lesser than the original source material. Oh yeah, and the generic stoic team leader is totally incorrect. Every single person who commented here hasn't read the full comics. Annihilation Omnibus, Annihilation Conquest Omnibus, Guardians of the Galaxy, the full run, then the Thanos Imperative. It's not that hard. If you're a real fan, then you'd know this. Star-Lord was never a generic stoic team leader. Yes, he was the leader, and he was stoic at times in his early creation, but overall, he was more akin to John Crichton, a guy who could crack jokes, but also kick ass. We come down here again. I don't think Master Chief really fits Star-Lord's voice. For context, the voice actor of Master Chief, another space badass, got to voice Star-Lord. And yeah, he might lack a little bit of charisma, but I still think he's great. And what do you think Star-Lord's voice is? Do you think he's some goofy Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec? No, Star-Lord is exactly that, a stoic team leader like Master Chief, but who can also make jokes, not in a Marvel humor way, and more of a dry, sarcastic way, because the dude is damaged, the character is damaged, and you would know that if you read the source material and respected it. We see another guy here, biblical accurate, and they're the most boring N-words in EMH. Okay, first of all, he said biblically accurate, so you don't know how to spell, and second of all, you did use a certain word that I can't say on YouTube, but it does show your intelligence, the fact that it's really, really minute and tiny. Stay away from comic books and go back to rap music. We see another guy here. They look lame as F in this. They legit just looks like boring space cops. Boring space cops is an oxymoron. Every single space cop kicks ass and is not boring. Richard Rider Nova is an absolute badass and one of the best characters in comic books. Hal Jordan? Anybody? Maybe you shouldn't be reading comic books and you should just stick to the boring movies. That's just a little taste of the absolute stupidity within one discussion about comic accuracy and source material. It can be applied to almost every other character. Batman, for example. In the Robert Pattinson Batman, he doesn't talk, he doesn't look, he doesn't act anything like Bruce Wayne or Batman. Can we just all admit that?
All anyone cares about in this place are these white privileged assholes. White privilege, white privilege.
I don't care about your excuses where he's just becoming a hero and this is a different adaptation. No, it's not. It's Seven and the Crow with Batman in it. If Batman is on screen, he should have white eyes, he should be in a noir Art Deco city, and his cape should be pretty damn long. And if you can't accept that, then you're not a real fan. People complain all the time. It's like, they don't need wide eyes. Batman's cape doesn't need to be 50 feet long. Wolverine doesn't have to be really short. Yes, they do. If you're adapting the character from something, then they need to stay the same. You can make small changes here and there, but you're taking from the original source material. And the funniest part is, most of the newer comic and MCU versions of most of these characters are not superior. Just look at Iron Man. I heard somebody on Twitter a few days ago saying their comic hot take was that Iron Man sucked. And this isn't uncommon. Many people believe that Iron Man was this terrible B-list character who sucked, never had one good issue, and the MCU made him a great character. I know I've mentioned this a good few times on the channel, but just look at David Michelinie's Iron Man run, then come back to me. Oh wait, you haven't read it, because then otherwise you wouldn't be spouting bullcrap on Twitter about stuff you don't know about. Iron Man wasn't some boring character who had no personality traits. You're being tricked into the lie of the MCU. So Robert Downey Jr. is walking around being charismatic as Tony Stark, and his suit is all nanotech. Sure, yeah, his movies were pretty cool and they did have a lot of kick-ass music, but can anybody tell me how that generic character is superior to the original source material, where every single issue Tony Stark faces defeat, betrayal, inner turmoil, and he's also an alcoholic. One of the most underrated characters and backstories is David Michelinie's Iron Man. Instead of like the movie being captured in some modern war down in some cave and you have to build a suit to escape, but you actually don't harm anybody. In the original comic, Tony Stark was a wealthy man who was on a business trip in Vietnam during the war. He was ambushed and captured, bringing into a POW camp. He had to work with one of the prisoners to build a suit and escape, and by the time the suit was built, the man who helped Tony was tragically gunned down. So Tony Stark drops that smarmy personality and dons that iron suit of armor and becomes the instrument of vengeance that is the Iron Man, literally blowing up the dude who was responsible for all this bullcrap. As he trudges on into the green hell, he realizes that he'll forever have that obligation to be the Avenger. That is Iron Man, and once again, the funny part is, most people haven't read these comics, yet they're saying that Iron Man is boring. For example, I don't know anything about Aquaman. I haven't read one comic, so I'm not going to turn around and say, Aquaman is boring, he was never good, because I don't know anything about him. To be honest, you have to be kind of slow to make a statement like this. I've just given you a few examples like the Guardians, Batman, Iron Man, but it goes on to the likes of Wolverine as well, where nobody wants the kick-ass brown and tan suit with the big pointy ears and the cigar and cigarette chomping out of Logan. They want some 6'4" Australian dude wearing a leather jacket. That is not Wolverine. I don't care what you say. The character is the source material, and if you can't respect that, then you don't belong anywhere near comic books. And I'm sure there's many more injustices and situations like this where a great comic character was changed forever because of a crappy movie or a crappy writer who came in and ruined it. So if you have any, be sure to let me know, because bullcrap like this needs to be called out, and there is a resistance of real comic book fans who believe the same thing. And if you disagree and you think that the MCU slop is worth anybody's time, then go complain to your boyfriend.